This is first surf back since October, in which time I've had a total hip replacement and rotator cuff supraspinatus reattached. Don't know how long it was detached. Maybe since teenager, landed on my head and shoulder. Otherwise, in the meantime, paddling, a lot of rafting and kayaking would aggravate it. Told me it's bursitis. Got the cortisone injection. Went for a ski trip to Japan in my 2 weeks of resting my shoulder. More lately, got into surfing and paddling around. Made it really sore, tired and sore. I put up with it until I landed on my head and broke my back, and then I thought it was time to get things checked out. That's when I found out I had hip arthritis and torn rotator cuff. So after another summer of rafting, I finally got it seen to in February. I've been working as a personal trainer in that time in the recovery, since I thought I was in a sling and only going to the gym for physio anyway. I may as well get in there and help other people. Supposed to be there this week, but had a few sick days, bit of a cold. I'm going to rinse it out now with a good salt water rinse. So that should help. I'm on my big fat board to make things pretty easy. This one I built myself. So plenty of volume. Try to pack in a lot of volume into a short board for manoeuvrability. I've got booties on. Never thought I'd put these back on again. Thought it was time for the bin. But you can see from my bunion, I cut the slit out and then filled this gap with silicone. Unfortunately, it's coming apart, but that's for my straighten up my bunion. So yeah, we're going to see how this new hip goes. Should be plenty more mobile, much easier to get up my front leg, and we'll see how paddling goes. I haven't really built up the endurance, but one thing limiting it, and even with the rotator cuff injury, one thing that's led to a lot of shoulder pain is my lack of mobility. So paddling, I think surfing's great because you arch your back, you got to get your head and chest up to be able to paddle, and then you're pulling your shoulders back and reaching forward and pulling back with this really good posture, which I encourage everyone to use in the gym with their training. But yeah, so getting back in the water, I've been just only recently, like a week ago, been able to lift and rotate my shoulder for the physio exercises, build that strength. They want you to either get the mobility back. My mobility's certainly improved very rapidly towards my other arm, but still not great on any scale. And working on that thoracic mobility. So that's really going to help with the endurance and the ease of paddling, being able to arch my back more. So lying on a roller in the middle of my back, trying to stretch my chest out, and doing that, I believe, much faster way to get you back to a full range of motion than doing the strengthening exercises when you're only resisting against lack of mobility or the injury site. I'm not really sure, but you can feel it when it's just restricted by the joint, and I don't see any reason to push that. But doing the stretching, chest stretching, to solve the underlying issue in the first place was lack of mobility. So even getting the surgery, got to work through that endurance. And then sure, surfing is great, strengthen, reinforce that, but I need to stay on top of my stretching more often. And I'm not very strict with it, or not very disciplined with it, if you use that word. So it's kind of like a motivator to go to the gym and train, using that when I can't really do other activities that I'd prefer to do. But going through that full range of motion, feeling the stretch with everything, because stretching under load is a really effective way to stretch, and also being under tension in the lengthened position of a muscle is really important for hypertrophy. So win-win situation. Gets me stretching, gets me mobile. I need to do a little bit more stretching otherwise. And then something so fun and activity. I'm not counting steps on the calorie counter or any of that rubbish. Just going for a surf. That's the reward for putting in the work and the effort in training specifically, to be able to do real life activities that I actually enjoy. And it's way more than, just exercising for the sake of it, ticking a box off as part of your life, squeezing in that hour in your Monday 9 to 5, but taking on adventures out of the realm of everything in your schedule. And challenges. I don't always catch a wave. For many years I don't barely catch a wave a session, fumbling to my feet and falling over. And but yeah, you just go for a paddle, you get tired shoulders, you learn something, you learn about the surf, the experience, and yeah, and then you get that feeling when you take off, that zen, right? Because you're so focused on what you're doing, the waves appearing in front of you as you're finding yourself standing at your feet by some sort of fluke. And I think that's what we all crave, what we all desire, is that escape, right? Through addiction and everything, we're trying to escape our feelings and emotions, and the flow state or fight or flight. Sure, when something's big and scary, you get that fight or flight, and that's why we all get hooked on these adrenaline-fueled activities as young humans, and it's all great. But, yeah, you calm down and learn to slow down a little bit, and yeah, you just enjoying that flow state. If you are comfortable in that environment, and you're using the elements and using your body to play with the elements, and you're just acting, you're not reacting, you're not thinking. I think that's real art, right? Being able to just self-express without thinking through the mechanisms of it. You just do it, and you produce art. You're in fight or flight, flow, zen, whatever that may be. But yeah. So when someone says exercise is boring, anyway, it's time for another topic for another time.